Hey girl, welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about something that I hear all the time from my one-on-one clients. In fact, I actually had a conversation around it today. Lindsey, I'm just not vibing with my stomach. I cannot stop thinking about it. And it's ruining my day, my mood, and my recovery. What do I do? So sis, if you've been feeling like you just give too much to certain places in your body, like your stomach, and if this is a big trigger for you, if you cannot stop looking at it, thinking about it, obsessing about whether it looks bigger day by day, then I welcome you to today's episode. I recorded it just for you, friend. Let's dive in. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsey Nichol, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess trapped in a destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom, and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it so you can start living your best life as your best self. Here's what I told my client, and here's what I'm telling you. I may not love my stomach every day. In fact, you're not gonna love your stomach every day. But if I'm being honest, I don't think I loved my stomach every day when I was in the trenches of my eating disorder either. So I want to have a real talk with you today because we are going to get into it. Let me just say it. Your stomach is a huge pain point in recovery. I get it. I've been there. My clients are there. You're there. It's real. It's valid. And it's one of the hardest parts. When I was in the thick of my disorder, I was so conscious of my stomach feeling bigger or looking bigger. And I would literally search for evidence that it was blowing up. Looking in the mirror every couple hours, every reflection, every window, pulling my shirt tight to see the outline, sitting down and watching how it folded, like standing up and checking if it was flatter, even after meals. And it was exhausting and it was constant. And you know what would happen when I decided my stomach was bigger? A complete spiral. You're right. I would go into restriction mode. It would kick in immediately. I would overexercise. My mood would switch on a dime. I'd feel totally out of control. And then I would react. I would be short with the people that I loved. I would be avoidant. I would be irritable, all because of my stomach and what I made it mean about me. So I get it. I know how much power that stomach hate has over you. How it can derail your entire day, your entire week, your entire recovery progress, heck, your entire life if you're feeling big in your stomach. But here's what I need you to know and hear today. Your stomach doesn't have to control you. It doesn't have to dictate your mood, your choices, or your day. In fact, this doesn't have to do with anything about your stomach. Your stomach is an innocent bystander. And we're going to talk about what to do when you're feeling not okay with your stomach or even another body part. Like insert, I have some clients who or feeling not okay with their thighs, or some clients that are not okay with their arms, or whatever that is, like insert your pain point as we go throughout today's show. It doesn't have to dictate your mood, your choices, or your day. And so I want to be clear because you are going to have body changes. Your body changes, right? It changes from when you're a kid to when you're an adult to when you have an eating disorder to when you're in recovery to when you're weight restored to later on in life. Like your body is going to change. So it's not about if it happens, it's about when it happens. It's going to happen. And sis, you need some tools for those moments. But first, let me hit you with some real talk. There are two hards in this life when it comes to your stomach or insert any other body part that is not your favorite. Hard number one, hating your stomach while you're restricting, you're obsessing, you're body checking, you're over exercising and missing your life. Hating your stomach while you're trapped in the eating disorder, controlled by food thoughts, isolated from the people that you love, and spiraling every single time that you look in the mirror. That is hard number one, okay? Hard number two is sometimes not loving your stomach, but being free, living your life, finding peace, eating meals with your family, going to the beach, wearing clothes that you like instead of hiding, being present and having energy, not spending every waking moment thinking about your stomach. That's hard number two. but both are hard. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that recovery means that you're going to wake up loving your stomach every single day, because that's not realistic and it's not honest. And I'm here to dive into the real truth. But here's the question that you have to ask yourself. Which hard do you want? Because I chose hard number 2, and some days I still don't love my stomach. Some days I look down and I wish it was different. But you know what I'm not doing? I'm not restricting. I'm not over-exercising. I'm not spiraling. I'm not letting my stomach control my mood or control my entire life. I'm going to be even more clear and honest with you. When I was in the trenches of my disorder, at my lowest weight, doing all the things, I still didn't love my stomach. Even then, even at my sickest, my most controlled, my most restricted, I still found things I hated about it. So what other options do you have, friend? And this is what I shared with my client earlier today. Like, you can stay in those patterns and you can hate your stomach, you can hate parts about your body, or you can recover and sometimes not love your stomach, but have your life back. So I want you to get clear on choosing your hard. Like, which hard are you choosing? And next, we're going to talk about why the stomach is such a trigger, because it's not random. Let's be for real. The stomach is easy for us to tear ourselves apart over. It's easy to compare. Everyone has one, right? You can't live this life without one. You can see it, you can measure it, you can obsess over it. Society has told us that flat stomachs are good and anything else is bad. And social media shows us these filtered, photoshopped, sucked in stomachs with 12 abs. And we compare our real human functional stomachs to these fake images. And so the stomach becomes the safe target. It's easier to hate your stomach than to deal with the real stuff, right? Like the feelings that you're avoiding, or the control that you're seeking, or the fear that's underneath every single thing. And here's something that's going to blow your mind. Restriction actually makes stomach issues worse. So when you're not eating enough, your digestion, it slows down. You get more bloated. You feel more uncomfortable. Your stomach actually becomes more of an issue the more that you restrict your food. So the very thing you're doing to fix, or so you think, your stomach by restricting is actually making it worse. How crazy and messed up is that? Totally jacked. Your stomach is supposed to change. It's supposed to change throughout the day. It's supposed to change one season to the next. It's supposed to be flatter in the morning and fuller after meals. It is supposed to expand when you eat and digest. It is supposed to be bloated. It is supposed to fold when you sit down. It is supposed to be filled. Okay, do you hear me? Because stomachs, they're supposed to be full. That's their job, to hold food, to digest, to nourish. But as a culture, we've made stomachs the enemy. And this is why it creates this fixation of measurement, looking at it constantly to determine your worth. And it just has to stop. So let me tell you what I now know and what I now do on the days when I just simply am not feeling my stomach. I'm not vibing with it, because those days still happen, friend. And I need you to know that having those days doesn't mean you failed or that you have all these dysmorphic issues with your body. Yes, do we have those? Sure. But during the days where you're just not loving it, whether that's your stomach, your legs, your arms, I don't even care. What do? Well, first I wear baggier clothes. I'm not going to be in restrictive clothes. I'm not going to wear things that are tight on my stomach, because why would I want to do that to myself? I'm going to wear clothes that feel good, that are comfortable, and that don't make me super hyper aware of an area that I've fixated on. And secondly, I'm going to avoid opportunities to stare at myself, like from the jump. I'm not talking about never looking in the mirror, okay? I'm talking about not standing there, analyzing, criticizing, body checking, shaming. I brush my teeth, I do my hair, I put on my makeup, I move on. I don't give myself the opportunity to spiral. Third, and this is a big one for me, I remind myself of the truth. And here is my truth. My stomach, just like any other part of me, is going to change. And it is allowed to change, and that's okay. And it doesn't mean I'm bad. It doesn't mean I failed. It just means I'm human. I remind myself that stomachs are supposed to be full. And I think about myself as a little girl. I was never concerned. I wasn't concerned about my stomach. Never, right? I just lived. I played. I ate. I didn't analyze my body. And I want you to remind yourself of these truths. I actually think about when I was pregnant and how much I loved watching my stomach grow with a human inside of me. I was in awe of what my body could do for me, and I didn't hate it. I celebrated it. Why do you hate it now? Why do we hate it now? Because we've made it mean something that it simply doesn't mean. We've given it power that it simply should never have been given. And here's what I realized, and this is the shift that I'm hoping for you too. I was never going to like my stomach, no matter my size, no matter how flat or toned or perfect. I was never going to be satisfied because hating my stomach wasn't about my stomach at all. It was just a part of me that I used to self-sabotage when I felt like I wasn't enough. Whenever I felt anxious or stressed or scared or inadequate, I would look at my stomach and find something wrong with it. It was my go-to, my safe target, my scapegoat. And maybe that's the same for you. And the only way to help you through this, friend, is to accept and shift your perspective. I had to stop looking at my stomach as the problem and start seeing it for what it was. It was a symptom, a distraction, a way to avoid the feelings that were really underneath all of it. You see, when you hate your stomach, I want you to ask yourself this, or when you're picking apart part of your body, what am I really afraid of right now? Like, what am I really feeling? What is actually bothering me? What is going on in my life that feels chaotic or out of control? Because I can promise you, friend, 99% of the time, it's not about your stomach. It's that you're feeling out of control in some area of your life. It's that you're scared, whether that's being scared of gaining weight or not feeling enough, or that you're always going to be like this. It's that you're comparing yourself to someone else, or it's that anxiety about something coming up for you. Your stomach is just the easy target, and it's really not fair to your stomach. Am I right? So here are the tools that you can use when the stomach hate shows up, and it will show up. We fixate on parts of our body, and so I want you to be ready. Tool number 1, be conscious of the body checking. When you feel the urge to look in the mirror, to pull your shirt tight, to analyze your stomach, stop. Literally stop. Walk away, do something else, put on baggy clothes. The more you body check, the worse it gets for you. It is going to send you into nightmare land, okay? We're not doing that. Tool number 2, I want you to ask the real question. Instead of why does my stomach look like this, or and like create this torture within your mind, I want you to give yourself compassion. What am I really feeling right now? What am I avoiding? Get to the root, queen, because your stomach is not the problem. Tool number 3, I want you to remind yourself of function over form. So what does this mean? Well, my stomach digests food. It nourishes. It expands when you eat because that is its job. Do you hear me? It is not supposed to be flat 24/7. That is not realistic and that is not healthy. Tool number 4, remember your little girl self. Okay, you didn't care about your stomach as a kid. You just lived. That is the goal. She is the goal. Not loving your stomach every single day. That's not the goal. Just living without needing to love it, quite frankly. Tool number 5, choose your hard, friend. On the hard days, I want you to remind yourself, I can hate my stomach all I want and be trapped, or I can sometimes not love my stomach and be free. Which hard do you want? Tool number 6, wear comfy clothes. I cannot say this enough. Stop punishing yourself by squeezing into things that you're trying to avoid wearing in the first place because you probably shouldn't be that size in the first place, okay? I'm just preaching. Wear what feels good. Your comfort matters more than how your stomach looks in the moment. Okay, if you're in the process of transitioning in recovery to weight restoration, let's not make this process harder by constantly putting ourselves in clothes that we know are no longer going to be in our closet. That's just the reality. Donate, do something great with them, but allow yourself the ability to wear something less restrictive. Tool number 7, talk back to the voice. So when that voice says your stomach's too big, you say, my stomach is allowed to change. My stomach is doing its job. My stomach does not define who I am as a person. My stomach is fine. Like, who cares? On the days when you hate it, and those days, they're gonna come, whether that's your stomach or something else, I want you to remember this. You don't have to love it to live your life. You don't have to love it. You don't have to love it to recover. You don't have to love it to be free. You just have to stop letting it control you. Your stomach isn't the enemy. Your stomach isn't the problem. Your stomach is just a stomach. It's allowed to change. It's allowed to exist, and it's allowed to be full. And you, well, you're allowed to live your life without hating yourself crazy every time you look down. Choose your hard, girl, and choose freedom for you. If you need support navigating the hard days when your stomach triggers you, I would love to support you. I have 2 options for you. I want you to join the Recovery Collective. This is my group support program. It is $97 a month where you are going to get community support and tools for moments like these. We are an intimate group of women, and it is just so much joy every other Wednesday to meet with these ladies. If you're interested, you can go on out to herbestself.co/recovery collective and join us the next time we meet. The next option is work with me one-on-one in personalized recovery support, where we create a custom plan for your triggers, your challenges, and your recovery to combat these thoughts. If you're interested, let's walk it out together, friend. Fill out a client application at herbestself.co. Until next time, you really can move away from all the stomach and body checking. Your stomach doesn't have to control your life anymore, friend. Bye for now, girl. I love ya. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show, and I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.